Hello, welcome everybody to today's challenge. Just today's Igniting Souls live stream. I have an incredible launch today, incredible author with Kelly Majdan, and her book is called Lessons from the Obstacle Course: 5 Strategies to Conquer the Muddy Fields of Life. That is an awesome, just an awesome title. I just had to smile at it because I'm like, yeah, our life tends to be pretty muddy sometimes, of those obstacles. But I've got to tell you a little bit about Kelly from her bio. So Kelly Majdan believes that the goal in life isn't simply to live long, but to live well longer. And the key to living well longer is found in an intersection between financially being prepared and the years ahead and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Boy, that is so true, because if you have health but you don't have wealth, and if you have wealth but you don't have health, it becomes a tougher situation. So I love that about what you're about, Kelly. So living well longer takes effort, persistence, and the willingness to do the hard work to make it possible. Now, just a little bit more about her to tell you why she is the person to write this book. With more than 25 years in the financial service industry, Kelly has been recognized as an industry leader in retirement plan management, fiduciary oversight, participant education, financial coaching. I mean, but what was going on behind the scenes ignited another passion. And that is to pursue a healthier lifestyle, that she could be there for her family long into the future. Her personal journey led her to become an ADAPT certified functional health coach, and a national board certified health and wellness coach, so she can help others on their journey to a future wellness, longevity, and financial security. So leveraging what she's done is she literally has leveraged her background in finance. And now Kelly has created this program called the Wellness Plan to be a guide to individuals in making wellness choices that align with their needs and their desires. So as their wellness advisor, she helps clients regain their power over their wellness by being intentional on how they approach their health. So Kelly lives in Texas with her husband, Frank, and their 2 teens. Oh, you got a full life. I can just see that before I even know that you have 2 huge dogs and a very spoiled cat, which I heard in the background. So I love that. Welcome, Kelly. I'm so excited about your launch. I've been looking forward to this launch because I believe it's a very, you have a message that needs to get out there right now. And it's just very, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just happy to be here. It's been a 3-year journey. Or at least this last part's been a 3-year journey writing this book. So it's really cool to finally have this out here and launched. It's been one of those roads with lots of highs and lows.
Yes, and you've even had a tough week this week, from what I understand.
It's, I'll tell you, we've had better weeks, but that's okay. That's just part of life. That's just that's just what we go through. And you just kind of have to keep a good attitude and keep moving forward. And sometimes you just have to look at your next step, and that's about all you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why you wrote this book. Yes. And before we go any further, now listen, Kelly is giving away 2 books today, and you're going to autograph those, right? Yay, hold that book up. We got to see that book. So she is giving away 2 autographed books today. And the way you can win one of those is if you participate, if you make comments in the comment section. We want to hear from you. If you have a question from Kelly, type it out. We would love to see it. And I know Kelly will have a great answer for you. So listen, Kelly, I want to know something. I want to know, what made you write this book? Because, I mean, Lessons from the Obstacle Course kind of tells me something right there. But then you add 5 strategies to conquer the muddy fields of life. I love that. So what was your purpose behind it?
It kind of started with one of the obstacles that I had to persist through that I ended up getting my daughter through. But then it evolved from the standpoint, and really as it came through and was working through it, is really, I think so many of us take a victim mentality to the obstacles that we face during our life. And I mean, they're supposed to be there. We would love life to be easy. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Let's just kind of cruise on through. But that just doesn't happen. And as I reflected more and more on it, because we've done a lot of obstacle courses, and as I was reflecting on our time on the obstacle courses and how we got there and all that kind of stuff, I was thinking, like, why can't we just approach life like we do when we go to set out to take on one of these challenges? We're excited to be there. We know there's going to be obstacles ahead. And with that thought, we come at it with this, I'm going to take it on as best I can and do what I can do. Hopefully, mostly we're going to get through most of them. But if not, that's okay. We tried, we did our best, and then we just move on to the next one. And it just got me more and more thinking, I'm like, why don't most of us take on that kind of attitude to the obstacles that we face in life? Because sometimes they're sucky. Like, I admit this week has really sucked. I mean, there's like this super high of getting the book launched, and then some of the other personal things that happened really, really suck. But it's just how life goes. And so it's your attitude and your mindset that goes along with it. That you can wallow in the suck, or you can say, okay, well, let's just keep moving forward. This time will pass. We'll get through it. We'll get through this challenge, and we'll head on to the next one.
And I love your attitude on that, because I'm sure as you walk through these past few months, because I've watched as you've had to delay your launch because of personal things going on, but you addressed it just the way you do in your book. So let me ask you this: how many obstacle courses do you and your husband Frank, how many do you do per year?
We probably, in any given year, we've done at least two. And of course, that kind of has been with the pandemic and everything like that. But now we're averaging about 3 or 4 a year. So we're just doing more and more as we go. But a lot of the less was just because of kiddos' schedules and getting it all put in with our schedules and all that good stuff.
Wow. Okay. So we're talking obstacle courses. Like by the end of it, you are covered in mud or dirt. Is this?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Some of them are muddier than others. And some of them are just tougher than others or longer than others. But, we've done a whole gamut of courses. So, and we're looking forward as we kind of move through this. We're still learning more.
Yeah.
And so we're still excited. Like, we found another one here in the Dallas area. I'm like, oh, we got to go do that one. So we're ready to go. We're looking to fit that one into our schedule for this year as well.
Well, now we've got some great ones in Nashville, so don't forget us in Nashville.
I know, it needs to, because we have family that's just south of you, so it'd be great to go spend some time with them too.
Absolutely. Well, now, what made you all decide to do obstacle courses? Because your husband went through a pretty serious time health-wise. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was really I had to, with anything that gets started, it's usually a friend or somebody who kind of was like, hey, come do this. And that was really, my husband had brain surgery back in 2014. And he had a pineal gland cystic mass sitting in the middle of his brain, causing all sorts of havoc. And as he was going through his recovery, I had some friends from the bank I was working at the time said, hey, we're going to go do this Warrior Dash. And do you want to come with us? And I'm like, sure, I'll go. And then I'm like, what's a Warrior Dash? And then like, oh, wait a minute, what am I jumping into? But what was really kind of fun about that, so we had a great time, and my husband and our 2 little kids came along as well too, as our cheering squad. And that just cemented he goes, oh my gosh, that looks like fun, because he's a Marine. So, anything you can go out there and get dirty and challenge yourself, he's all over it. And he's like, okay, that's what I'm going to aim for. It's just like with any kind of recovery. And of course, we talk about this in the book, any kind of recovery, you need a goal and you need something to shoot for. And so for him, that was what we shot for. And so we had so much fun doing it. So we had surgery in 2014, and then we didn't hit it until September 2015. Mm-hmm. And there was lots of fun stuff that happened in between. But that just kind of getting through that, we're like, oh my gosh, this was really fun. That was our first obstacle course we'd ever done in our mid 40s, mind you. And we just found it fun. I don't know, we're weird.
No, I actually love it. And I remember you were telling me not only did you and your husband go and do the obstacle courses, but I mean, how amazing is that? Because that is yes, it's about your physical, but it is mental when
Yeah.
you are out there trying to get over those huge obstacles.
Yeah. There's a lot of mental challenges. And again, I cover that in the book, because especially my earlier on,
Yeah.
there was a lot of fear that I had to get through. Fear of getting hurt. Could I do this? All this kind of stuff. And it was just the continuation of keeping doing them and gaining my confidence and my trust and myself and my strength. And there's just been kind of this evolution throughout. And that's what really kind of also drove the book. I'm like, as I was reflecting back, I'm like, oh my gosh, a lot of these things really helped me from a personal standpoint have more confidence off the course. As I took on more things in the course, I got more confidence off the course, and it helped me to take on more things in my personal life.
And what an example that you and your husband were to your two kids, because didn't they at some point join you? And I mean, how did they approach you about this? Hey, we want to go do this.
Well, it was really funny because in the first one we did in Warrior Dash, unfortunately, there's no longer Warrior Dashes, but they were a lot of fun. And in that first one we did, my son was so cute. And I had to remember how old he was. He was 14. So he had to be like 10 or 11 years old. And he's like, we come out, and the last one is a big muddy pit you have to go through. So you're just covered in mud. And he comes up and says, Mom, hit me here. I'm like, put some mud on me. I'm like, dude, really? I'm like, typical boy thing, right? I'm like, okay. All right. So he's got this big old mud hand plant, splat on him. And I got a picture of all of us together, and my kids are right in front. Like, they did the race with us, but of course they were too little to do the race. But that, again, they were like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I can't wait till we could do ours. So Warrior Dash we could do when they were younger. So we did 2 more Warrior Dashes with them, and then they brought their friends along on the third one. And then when they were old enough to do the Conquer the Gauntlet one that we did, they had to be 12 and older. They joined us on that one, and then they've been doing races with us ever since. So in fact, our son will come back and meet us, and all 3 we did the Spartan Trifecta.
Ooh.
Like prepaid for it.
Yeah.
We just haven't set our dates yet. And so he's like, where are we doing it? And so we're trying to figure out where we're going to do that one. So it's also kind of a neat way, because he's off to college now, that we come back together as well too, as a group. But my daughter, we just confirmed this morning that she tore ACL in lacrosse. And so she's like, well, I wonder if I can volunteer with it. So it's still kind of, still the family will be there, but in a little bit of a different capacity.
Absolutely. Those ACL tears they're hard to walk through.
Yes, exactly. Poor girl. But anyway, we'll get through it.
I know they can do it. And they become even stronger afterwards. But I tell you what, you are making an amazing tradition for your family. And I just, I can see later on in life how it's going to be, even the grandkids are going to come out.
And it's so funny because, occasionally you see these like 80 plus, I think they had just a 90-year-old go through it. I'm like, that's going to be me. Like, I am going to go. I am still going to, like, you cannot stop me. I am still going to be out there doing it.
I love that. Yes. I mean, you have a chapter in your book about ageism. And I really want you to talk to that, because I know there's so many people out there. They're like, well, wait a minute, a grandparent doing this? Yes. I mean, let's think about ageism, because that's an issue with a lot of people that think, oh, no, I'm past my prime. No,
you are not. Only if you think you are. Only if you think you are. And I think that's a real, and honestly, it's really kind of a funny thing, because we did, I think it was a Tough Mudder we were on, and we get through this one, and it was where he had to carry me, and I was actually kind of, I was not very friendly to my husband because of the way he was carrying me, because it hurt. I'm like, let me down. Anyway, so then we had to start running, and we start running, and we pass this group of ladies, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so old. I'm like, oh, how old are you? And she's like, oh, I just turned 40. And I'm like, oh, we're 50 plus. See ya. And she's like, what? And she starts running up next to us, and we're running for a while, and we're chatting. And then she's looking at me like, you're going to stop, right? are you? I'm like, what? But did you want to stop? But it was really kind of funny. And I think sometimes too that we really get this thing in our head that, oh, well, I'm over the hill, like, the black balloons and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, and that's just in our mind. Like, okay, maybe we have to work out a little bit differently. Maybe you're not running as long as or maybe there's other things you have to adjust. But to say that you have to stop entirely because you've hit a certain age, come on. Like that's not that's inside you. And that's a part of your health as well too. And I mean, honestly, that's where you have to get your health back together. And you've got to start working on your health and you've got to start looking at life a little bit differently. But my goal was to jump out of an jump out of an airport, jump out of an airplane. So we did that. I had to quarantine 50. So that we were able to at least jump, and because that was what I wanted to do for my 50th. And now my daughter wants to do that for her 18th. So that's what we're going to do when she turns 18. And we were talking about that last night at the game. And one of my daughter's friends, who I know is younger than me, she's like, "Oh, I'm too old for that." I'm like, "Really? No, 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 no. You are not too old for that. You only think you're too old for that." Like, let's like reevaluate this, because I think not just in taking on challenges, but I just sold, just kind of restarted and re-kicked off my career, and I'm 50 plus, and just reigniting my career and doing and kind of going along another path, kind of along the same side of my earlier career. But a lot of times we think, well, that ship has sailed. I'm like, no, it really hasn't. I'm like, it's only sailed if you have let it sail.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that your book talks about that. So, I mean, if you're listening right now and you're going, "Man, I've had that attitude. I've had that mindset that I'm just too old." I just really want to encourage you to go and order Kelly's book. It's on Amazon. Where else is your book found?
And Barnes and Noble, and wherever books are sold.
Oh, that is awesome. And listen, hey, if you don't want to go on Amazon, keep commenting, and you just might be one of the two that get a free book today. So y'all share this, comment, get this out there, because this is an amazing book, and I don't know a more relevant time, right, or a more relevant book at a time such as this. I mean, our nation and our whole world has been through, the last 3 years have been an obstacle course of
Yeah.
some kind. So, I mean, when speaking of that, Kelly, I mean, how do you talk to people about the fact that not only uh, the reason you wrote this, but how to look at life the way you looked at the obstacle course? I mean, can you give us like an example of something you would say to somebody that's going through maybe a really hard time, where they don't see how they're going to get to the other side of that big old obstacle in their life?
Yeah, it's easy to get kind of sucked into the challenge that you're at and that you're in, and not be able to, basically, you can't see the forest because of the trees in a way. And I think one of the best ways that when working with people on the coaching side is getting them to reflect back on a time when they've also gone through another issue, and what they felt and where they were at in that point in time, and did they ever feel like they could get through, and did they get through? Because most of us, I mean, it's kind of like not our first rodeo, right? We've all had challenges throughout our lives, and sometimes we forget about them, and we kind of forget what we did to get through those specific challenges. And if you stop and take a pause and think about it, not to go back and wallow in the challenge, but to really go back and take the lessons that you had from it and say, okay, yeah, all right, this is a little different, but there's still some elements. There's always kind of the same theme. And how did I do that? Because we all have it in us to get through whatever is before us. It's just being able to reach back in and tap that strength. And sometimes there's a lot going on and it's hard to see it. And that's when just taking that pause and understanding your emotions and feeling through it, and then be like, okay, that's done. Now let's see what's that next strategy that I can do to at least take that next step. Because honestly, sometimes, and I talk about this in Conquers on chapter 7, Conquers Kary, we all have our burdens, and it's about how you had to adjust this 50-pound sack. And we've done enough of these races that I was able to observe how other people were doing it, and I get to kind of practice how I was doing it and kind of change the way. And I got to the point where I'm like just throwing it over my shoulders and holding it on my back like this was the best way that I could carry that sack. But others were carrying it differently. But it's the same thing in our lives. Like there are how you handle grief, how you handle a job loss, how you handle anything where you're going through or a challenge at work or whatever the case may be in your life or wherever, you're going to handle it your own way. And that's totally good. And that's also accepting that this is how I handle it. And I'm going to get through it. And I know I'm going to get through it, and having that hope that you can get through it. So it's just trying to help you tap that hope inside that, yeah, it might take a little bit, but eventually this too shall pass.
That is great. And it sounds like in your book, you give the reader strategies, how they can get to the other side and how to look at it in a different way.
Yes.
And I really I like the way you're approaching this whole concept. And I think all of us can say we have an obstacle of some kind and we just need a better view of how to deal with it. And your book does that. So, if somebody's listening right now and you have an obstacle in your life, or hey, you got a newlywed couple, they're going to need this book.
Better way to get out there and really like get to know each other out on the field, really.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely inspiring me to do this warrior thing. This obstacle course.
They're not around anymore, so you'll have to do like a Tough Mudder or something or find another mud obstacle course around your area.
No,
I'll find one for you and send it to you.
Well, I tell you what, sometimes my dog takes me on obstacle courses that I was not planning for. So yeah. I get that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you, what is next for you? Like what's on the horizon for you? What's the next step after this book?
So in combination with this is so with the book itself, what eventually I want to do and what we're gonna put together, we're gonna do this, is we're going to have like a 12-week course that goes into actually going through and doing a race. And so we'll take people through the strategies and help them with their diet and nutrition and their exercise to get them through into that direction. But I also have, under my company, Power Through Wellness, I've started what is called kind of like strategic design your wellness strategy. In the financial services world, you have kind of what do we give you? Your stock brokers kind of have been in the old way, and then what I was a registered investment advisor, which has a fiduciary duty to help you find the best fit for whatever your life is. Well, as I noticed as I came on to be a wellness or a health and wellness coaching, there's a lot of people who do try to put that together, but there's usually tied to some sort of product. And there's nobody who comes and says, okay, well, let's actually do your strategy first. And then let's go find the product that you might need that you're actually really ready to make a move on. And that's what is building this year, and we'll be running at the end, and hopefully maybe another book on how to actually do that yourself. So I think there's just a different concept, and it's taking away, the goal really is to help people understand, utilize your resources better. Don't get caught up in all these sales pitches, because there's a lot of good sales pitches out there. There's a lot of good products out there, but it's really getting a little bit more of what am I really going to do? So helping people find their best fit for them from that perspective. So kind of taking a fiduciary approach to wellness.
Okay, so can people hire you as a coach? Is there some place they can go to find out more about you and more about your coaching classes you have? Do you have a website?
I do. KellyMajdan.com. Pretty easy, straightforward. Just my name, KellyMajdan.com, and you'll be able to find my information out there.
Okay, Kelly Majdan, and you guys have her name right there. So I tell you what, I would definitely, you're going to receive so much more than just health coaching, because financially you help as well, right?
Yes, from a coaching perspective. I'm no longer a registered investment advisor, but I can at least help from a coaching perspective.
Yes.
So, and that's sometimes really the biggest part of it. And that's unfortunately something just kind of missing sometimes. So it's really more getting people around the mindset around that as well. So
yeah. Okay. Well, then I think, listen, if you've been listening to just this interview. And there's any obstacles that you are facing, this is going to be a book that not only is going to encourage you through, I mean, a true life story. How many people do you know that have walked through what this family has walked through, and then to come out on the other side even stronger physically, and now she's sharing what she learned. And I know I'm going to be ordering my copy. But I need you to sign it. So, so I'm gonna have a little problem there.
I can do that. I can do that.
Well, okay, now look, I am looking here that we have a winner. Where did that go? Let's see. Can you
I know, and I gotta put my glasses on to be able to read like the little comment up here, but
yeah, I mean, I tell you what, that we do have a winner. If I can find her, I believe I believe it might be Becky Sue, but let me just make sure that that is it. So, all right, can you give me who the winner is, Tanisha? I missed it right there. But anyway, this has been amazing, and I just think what you are helping people do is you're helping them shift out of mindsets that are not serving them anymore. And so many people don't understand that you have to let go of the things that are holding you back so you can shift in to those things that make your life more fulfilling. And what better things? You're hitting on two things. I mean, you're hitting on health, you're hitting on wellness, you're hitting on every aspect that a person really needs to move forward in life, to just have a better life, a more fulfilling life. I think that's what we all want when it comes down to it. But I want to go ahead.
no, I was going to say, and well, it is. And I cover 5 strategies in the book. It's really, we start with recovery, what we're recovering from, discovery, what what it takes, kind of discovering our purpose, but also discovering what we need to walk around. Because there's a lot of things we think we have to push through, but we don't have to. Persistency, which is sometimes just being persistent and pushing through. Then we also talk about creativity. Sometimes you really, the old way is not necessarily the best way. Maybe you've got it figured out, taking that pause, Kelly, we talked about, to look through the trees. And then collaboration. And I think that one's become one of my favorite chapters, because on these courses, we all know we're there. We all know we're going to have to go through these same things together. Yet, and we come at it with this, I'm going to help everybody. We're going to work on this together, and we're happy. It doesn't matter what you look like or anything like that. It's just, we're here together and we're going to have fun. We've lost that. We've lost that in our country. We've lost that in just our regular interactions. And part of me, besides just like how you get through these other chapters, that one has kind of become my favorite right now, just because I really wish a lot of people would take that attitude on everything that we do out in the world. Smile a little bit more, lend a hand a little bit more. Just, understand we're all on this big old crazy rock together.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get along.
And is that one of the strategies that you share that people need to do? And what was the chapter title?
So that's the section called collaboration. And I go through 3 different areas where you have to collaborate, sometimes on just a little bit of balance, and then sometimes it's all hands on deck. And then in between, it talks about who's your rock, who's that person that you just totally need to, that you count on and that you need is there, as well as who are you a rock for? And really understanding that, we take turns, and it's important that we do take turns, because not all of us are strong all the time. And every once in a while, you do need to lean on somebody, and that's okay. Because I have a hard time with that. I'm like, nope, I got it. I'm good. No, sometimes I do need my rock. And I got several rocks. I got really great rocks in my life.
It's funny. I would always call those rocks my Sams, because in Lord of the Rings, he needed Sam.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
You just have to have that friend that is there for you no matter what, and carries you over the coals, man.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. Happens a lot. But you are just a wealth of wisdom. And, it comes from just that you've had to be persistent, not only in life, you've had to overcome so much, but even on the obstacle course. And I just love that you have taken something that we can relate to and say, yeah, that's pretty much my life. And so y'all, this is a book that needs to be in your library. And if you just, even if you know a person going through a hard time in life, go to Amazon, order this, and I think you will be glad that you did, and be glad that you shared this wisdom. But Kelly, it has been this 30 minutes has gone by so fast, and I feel like I could just talk to you about mindsets, but I'm gonna have to buy your book.
Please do. Please, anybody, please buy it. I'm at the begging stage, please.
I love that. But just 5 lessons. We all need the 5 strategies. And 5 is an easy number to remember. And I always think of 5 too is grace, because we need grace in this life to get to the other side. And thank
Yes,
you for giving us a tool that we can have in our library to say, I think I got this. I can remember this. But
hope so.
yeah, but I'm going to put your just where people can find you on Kelly Majdan. Majdan.
Ashton, just
I
learn.
love that. I almost feel like I need to say magic. Magic Majdan.
Well, ironically, that was my husband's nickname, was Magic Man. And lacrosse. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, see, it's all good.
Okay.
But yes, well, congratulations again on this book launch. And I just pray that you have so much success, and that everybody who gets your book is going to just want to share it and order more.
I appreciate the time here. This has been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. Well, thank you for being with us for this last 30 minutes. And I hope you go out and get this book called Lessons from the Obstacle Course, 5 Strategies to Conquer the Muddy Fields of Life. And you can find it on Amazon and wherever books are sold. So thank you, Kelly, and congratulations. And we'll see you on.
Thank you.